that pretty much sucked. But it's okay. Even though we're a half hour late, we are back live on YouTube at the Underdog Experience channel. What's up, guys? Also live on Spreaker.com/show/udxp. Go ahead and click that link, or type that link in. I can't click my words. That'd be pretty cool, but you can't, so sorry. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy the show. It's just going to be me, and this is honestly the first full-length, like around 45-minute episode that I'm going to do both solo, both with video stream, and both live. So if it's not kind of what you guys are used to as far as just the recorded audio version of the podcast, hopefully it's not bad, but hang in there. It should get better, obviously, with time. This is the 6th episode overall, and like the first one for all 3 live video and all that. So, but yeah, you guys already know this is guest free. And I kind of briefed everybody on like talking points for this episode, but we're gonna kind of focus on like technology, politics, some veteran issues, and finish out with some cannabis talk. And nothing like, oh yeah, smoke this one, man, it's great. No, like actual, like cannabis, like thoughts that I've had about pot, about the legality, about the rules and the loopholes and everything. But we'll come to that. So, first thing I want to discuss, though, dude, like I watched the presidential address from Trump on Tuesday, just because I was on YouTube and I was messing around. I was like, whoa, let me catch this, because this could be some good stuff. But one thing that really stood out, I mean, it was all pretty stupid and dog and pony show. Like, I mean, if you guys have ever watched one before, I mean, he was kind of addressing, I think it was Congress or something. Yeah, I don't really know. Don't quote me on that. I don't follow politics anymore. It used to raise my blood pressure too much. But he was like talking to a room full of like all white politicians and powerful people, and like had like 2 black dudes in the room. But anyway, besides the point, because that's not suspect. But anyway, one thing that stood out to me, being from Michigan but moving to Seattle, and then moving back to Michigan and then back to Seattle, like from a culture shock aspect, he was like, we need to be tougher on drug dealers and pushers for those selling opioids to Americans. Like, what the fuck? That's what you're gonna say? You're gonna say we need to be tougher on the drug dealers, like the scummy drug dealers pushing opioids to American citizens? Really? No, that's wrong. How about, instead of being tougher on drug dealers by over-policing them, which is going to cause more issues in my opinion, how about we go after the doctors that are over-prescribing and the pharmaceutical companies that are setting quotas for doctors to meet and hospitals to meet? How about we talk about that? You know, how about we talk about that quiet little rich-ass family in New Jersey that's banking off this opioid crisis because they're the family that started the I think it was like methadone or something, but they own the rights to the whatever, the medicine, if you want to call it that, the poison. I like that better. These people hold the key to the poison. So it's pretty crazy we're not going after them. We're just kind of ignoring them and saying go after the drug dealers on the streets. I wrote some things down based off that, and see what you guys think about it. But basically, not just going after the doctors. You can't just go after doctors in 2018 America, but putting better regulations and research funding to those federal and state-funded or state-sponsored methadone clinics. I mean, like, you have one on every corner, and it's just trashed full of like junkies getting their high and then leaving. How about you send a lot of funding their way so they can do some proper research on methadone and other alternative treatment options. But my biggest thing with it all is if you try and stop the drug dealers, you're going to have to throw police on the streets in force. And those police are going to end up, wearing their badge on their heart instead of on their uniform. Kind of being like, oh, I'm the president's special appointed police to take these drug dealers out. I don't know about you, but it's 2018 and cops are being massacred every day. And by ignorant people, by people that are misinformed, misled, mentally ill, whatever. But adding to that, by throwing a more authoritarian view, or more authoritarian power into the American streets, it's pretty dumb in my opinion. But I don't know. That was just one thing that stood out to me. Kind of pissed me off when Trump was saying that, because everyone started cheering and clapping and woohoo, yeah, woo, yeah. We love that idea. It's like, no, how about someone stand up and say, Mr. President, how about we do this? And see, that's what I think we need. I think we need, and I know this sounds like a parrot of Joe Rogan, but that's pretty much the right idea. He's got the right idea. You don't want, who wants one person to be in charge of, 350 million people or whatever we're at right now in the United States? It is a popularity contest. Oh no, it's bipartisan and they want this and the other side wants that and we got to pick. No, that's not it. It's 2018. How about we get a council of 20 people, each specializing in each different department of, Department of Interior, someone who's in charge of the legislative aspect of the job. Get people that have specific professions in the areas that one person tries to tackle as the president. Get about 20 people. Not 20 presidents, but 20 people as a tribal council in a sense, and call it the council people for America's future or some shit. I don't know. That sounds kind of like utopian movie-esque, but whatever. I think that would be good. I think that would definitely be a lot better alternative than what we have now. I mean, yeah, what we have now worked up to this point, I'd say up to I don't even know if it really ever worked, but I'd say it's kind of trickled, fizzled out around the end of the 80s, as far as being what a president is and what it means to be a president and the values upheld. And I mean, even back in the 1800s, presidents weren't upholding the values they were portraying. But the thing is, the media now has shined a light on it to everybody, where everybody can see all the wrongdoings and all the injustices the politicians are committing. Which I think, because we don't really have a real voice with the politicians. I mean, everyone says, write your congressman or whatever. Well, you don't really have a voice. So it's causing people to take to the streets in a sense. Saying fuck the police, saying Black Lives Matter, saying White Lives Matter, saying fuck black people, saying fuck white people, saying Mexicans go back to Mexico. All this shit's happening. And I think it's not because we hate each other. I think it's because we are so fucking frustrated with nothing ever being different. And it's funny because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. It's the broed down version of it, but basically what it is, And what have we done since the inception of the presidency? Kept electing people every 4 years or every 8 years. New people come in. Hopefully this will be different. This one will be different. He's a Democrat. He's a Republican. This one will be different. Oh, dude, it's not going to be different. Oh, Obama's black. It's going to be different. No. I would say Obama was better than Trump, in my opinion, up to this point. In the first, if you take Obama in his first year and Trump so far in his first year, I think that Obama was a little better. And I don't mean his policies. I mean, his way to connect with the American people. I think now when Trump gets on the TV, you either have people that are yeah, screaming at their TV cheering, or you have people turning it off and shaking their head in disgust. And that's what I'm trying to get at, is that divide, I didn't vote, so I can't really be yeah, I think it should be this. But I didn't vote because I don't believe in the system. I don't believe in the presidency. I don't think it should be a thing. I don't believe that our vote really matters. And I know I'm going to catch flack for that. But I don't think our vote really matters. I truly don't. If you can change my mind on that with actual factual proof, not only will I have you on the show, but I will make a T-shirt for myself that says, "I love the presidency," or some shit ridiculous like that. And I'm confident in that bet because I know you won't change my mind. But I'm open to people trying. Let's see. Enough about politics, man. Enough about that. It stresses me out. Gets me too pissed off. I feel like Rush Limbaugh with this fucking microphone and broadcasting and talking about Trump and everyone hears about it too much. So we're gonna take like a weird dive into technology. If you guys remember episode 4, it was 4 parts, but episode 4 was basically started off as like a talk about technology and kind of how technology's kind of taken over human life in a sense. And I was saying, you know, like, take this for a grain of salt because there is going to be some inaccuracies with this statement, but it's for the most part pretty mind-blowing and pretty true. Once our grandparents are dead, sorry if that's morbid, and then once our parents are dead as well, there will be nobody left. And I don't mean ours as in like your friend group. I mean our generation, like we're like the oldest ones left on the planet. Yeah, think about this, dude. No one will have experienced Earth without the internet at that point, and that's only a few years off. Think about how different 1970, 1980, 1990 were from 2000. Yeah, that's just time changing, though. It just happens naturally. Think about it, though. Think about it in terms of, in like, I would say in like comfortably, like 30 to 40 years, maybe 50, because there's some long-living outliers out there. We won't have anyone on this face of this planet that hasn't, maybe they haven't experienced internet, but they've never been alive on this earth without internet. And there's a huge presence with internet just being here, whether you've experienced it or not. And I don't mean internet, to clear this up, I don't mean internet like Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, all that shit. I don't mean that. I mean like internet, intranet, like the whole thing, the whole concept. It's pretty wild. But like originally I was thinking, man, we're in some kind of like technological age right now, some kind of like integration age where technology's in this weird stage, humans are in this weird like restful stage in a sense. Or restless stage, sorry, my bad, in a sense. And it kind of like led me to think like, are we like integrating to something huge here? Like is something big on the horizon that's going to take humanity by storm? And like this unrest right now is kind of weeding out the ones that are going to survive and conform and not conform. I don't know. It's not really a conspiracy. It's just something I kind of thought about. But like the more I thought about it though, and kind of brought politics into the thinking of it, I was like, dude, I feel like we're just in like a future or like a revamped Dark Age 2.0, if you will. Like with all the discord that's going on, you got, you know, Trump. It feels like Trump's kind of like relishing in the divide that he's creating in the country, because he's kind of like a narcissist, in my opinion. And like, even if he has 4 people behind him that say you're fucking amazing every day, and then the rest of the country against him openly, he would still think he's doing a great job. So he doesn't care about the country. He's not even going to be here for maybe like 20 more years if he's lucky. He don't care. He's doing this to pad his resume and, you know, get his jollies off, you know. So that's kind of a dark concept to politics and the whole technology thing. But like, technology is exploding, dude. Like Elon Musk is inventing some crazy technologies. But it's weird because like, I also think of it as a dark age in the sense of like literally dark, like the media is dark. Not like it's bad, but like it always has been. But like it's dark as in the real facts are blacked out and you're just getting the entertainment value from it now. And when important facts and issues start being lost, it's a dangerous slope because then people start focusing on dumb stuff, like the importance of social media in your day-to-day life and filming cops doing their job. As opposed to worrying about, you know, bettering the country, bettering humanity, doing something like giving people sustainable income based off the state they're in as like a baseline. Like you move to that state, you show proof of applying to jobs, And even if you get a job, you still will receive a check from the state for like whatever, $1,000 a month or something. And people are like, yeah, but then people are just going to use that and sleep on their ass all day. Well, yeah, some will, but that'll weed out those people. Those people will be done and gone soon enough. We'll regulate those people right out of the system. But what I think it will do is help people that have ideas for like starting up wood shop companies or starting up little skate shops. It'll give them an extra 1,000 cushion room to buy groceries, put gas in their vehicle, and then their money from their job can go towards their passion. So I think that'd be pretty cool. But something like that's never even brought up. It's getting ignored because of all the other dumb shit in the media. Who slept with who finger banged who slapped who on the ass 20 fucking years ago. Really? That's what you care about? Like, I'd much rather hear about Kim Kardashian in the news 3 out of the 5 days a week, and the rest be actual news, than hear about 7 days a week on the news all the dumb shit we hear about now. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody when I said... I'm not really sorry, but I'm sorry if I offend anybody when I said... If I made it seem like, sexual harassment or assault doesn't matter. No, it does matter. But like the great Joey Diaz made a statement on Joe Rogan's podcast the other day. He was like, people change. Like, essentially, he was like, people change. If somebody who's kind of famous back in the 70s took a picture with you, grabbed your ass, and he was a dude and you were a chick, and you didn't say anything about it, all the way until now, and now you're trying to accuse him of being a sexual predator, unless that man has sent you DMs on the regular every couple nights a week since that incident, you have no proof he's a sexual predator. That's tarnishing someone's potential career. And you can't act like you're perfect by saying, well, he shouldn't have grabbed my ass. Okay, well, you're right. If you didn't want him to, he shouldn't have. But you should have said something about it in the moment, or right after, or even a year after. But to wait 30 years and then come out and then try to ruin someone's career? Misery loves company, man. Misery loves company. And when you see someone in a high place, and you feel like you need to be there, but life never afforded it to you, you're going to try and bring them down to your level. And that's pretty fucked up. Because at the end of the day, it's fucked up to assault someone sexually or any kind of way of assault, but it's also fucked up to try and bring someone down and tarnish their career for shit that's really not that big of a fucking deal. At the end of the day, we're all fucking humans, dude. We're all made up of the same amount of water, cells. I mean, some people have different this and that, but we're all the same. We're skin, bone, blood, water, organs, tissue. The only thing that makes us different from each other is our genders and our fucking life experiences. I try to think of life as like, or at least like my version of reality in life as being like, okay, me and my inner circle, which is like 2 people, is this one tribe, and we're living amongst a bajillion other tribes. Sometimes those tribes are 1-2 people, sometimes those tribes are 1,000 people. But either way, even if you've got the backing of 1,000, unless you have the backing of everybody, you shouldn't try to put anybody down or take anyone out of your, move anyone out of your way, or get pissed at someone or fight somebody or kill somebody. I mean, we should all fucking work together and make one super tribe called America, and then the sky's the limit. Or as Elon Musk would say, Mars is the limit. But I don't know. I mean, I have no degree. I went to college at Alma College in Michigan for 1 year. Studied psychology and barely went to any of my classes because I didn't want to be in college. So I dropped out and joined the Army, but I think that kind of showed me, because I wasn't in a state of mind to really learn and do the whole classroom thing. I was more like, yeah, my mind was wide open like a sponge, but it just wasn't activated in the classroom setting. So I kind of relished life experience at that time, and getting out at 18 years old and going to, Fort Jackson, South Carolina for basic training, and then Fort Lee, Virginia for advanced individual training, and then Fort Benning, Georgia for airborne school, and then eventually to Fort Lewis, where I was stationed for 4 years in Washington out here. As an 19-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid at that time, coming from a small farm town, knowing about big cities because I'd lived in them, but really coming from a small farm town to that, like, that was really what I needed to activate my brain sponge, to kind of absorb some stuff and learn some things. And it's kind of just what I've taken away from hearing things in the news, Seeing things on Twitter, Facebook, social media in general, talking to my friends, talking to random people I meet at like the skate park and shit. It all kind of seems to like everyone's saying the same thing in different ways, and it's pretty crazy that like there's so many of us and only like a handful of politicians in comparison to how many people there are. But yet nobody is willing to stand up and like actually take a fucking stand and say anything. Everyone's afraid. Like either people are unmotivated because they don't think they're gonna have a voice, or they're afraid. You shouldn't be either, dude. I'm doing this so I can have a voice, and I'm doing this so I can show others that you don't need anything fancy. Just create a voice, dude. You have it in you. Now bring it out. This is the new form of media in 2018 anyway, dude. That's what I feel like. I never wanted to be a journalist or anything like that, but if I could just give my 2 cents to the world and let everyone else know they're not alone and that they're not stupid for thinking certain things or they should suppress their thoughts, then that's awesome. I'm down for that. But I don't know. I kind of just think, to bring it all back, that like it's more of a dark age we're in right now, a dark integration age. It's like we're kind of blind to what's really going on around us, but something big is happening. And it's kind of freaky, but it's also kind of exciting. I don't know if I'll be alive to see it play out or if I will, but I am going to try and just remain attentive to my surroundings and what's changing and what's happening and people's behaviors altering. Because I do think newborns are going to be different cellularly once there's no more people that haven't experienced internet on this planet than newborns were before internet was around, or as it was kind of just coming to fruition. I just feel like there's something, humans are changing on a molecular level because of all this technology. So maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I smoke too much weed. Maybe, I don't know. But I just think that there's some shit that no one talks about and people avoid different areas of topic. And I think that we should all strive to kind of come together and tackle the major important issues as one, instead of little fucking groups here and there buying into the bullshit. But the next thing I want to get into, and it's kind of like the real like last big topic I have, cannabis. No, you stoners, not smoking weed all the time. Like, yeah, weed, smoke weed, yeah. I'm talking about cannabis as far as its legality in majority of the country right now. It's 2018, and people are still frowning upon it. People are still looking down on you for it. People are still judging you hardcore for it, even in legal states. It's just funny to me because, like, meanwhile we have parents, if you could even call them that. I don't think you could even be called a fucking parent if you're administering hormones to your underage child or children because you feel they exhibited some behavior that means that they want to be the opposite gender. Bruh. When I was like 6, all I fucking wanted to do was climb trees. That's basically what chimps do. I was a fucking chimp at 6. Most kids are little chimp babies. They don't fucking know. They're just doing life. They're just doing things. Do you know how many times I grabbed a pink cup instead of a blue cup, or vice versa? Does that mean I want to be a girl? I grew up on a dead-end street with all girls that were like a couple years older than me, right? In like kindergarten and shit. I remember one instance when I was out playing with them, and they decided to name me Brooke, paint my fucking fingernails like purple, and then treat me like one of their girlfriends as we went playing at the park. I didn't talk like a girl. I didn't act like a girl. I just was like, okay, I guess I'm Brooke. Haha. Like, thought it was funny. My mom, even though we don't talk, at the time, I want to thank her for not fucking shooting me up with estrogen or switching my, hormones around just because I did that weird stuff. But now you got people doing that to their kids because they're like, oh, well, little Adeline knows she wants to be a boy. We're going to call it Adam, and she's okay with that. Okay, well, how old is Adeline? 12? Oh, she's 12? Yes, she's clearly making the right decision. She knows what she's doing. Oh my god. I feel like I just stepped into like a mescaline trip when people say that shit. Like, is this real life right now? But like, You still got people. You got people doing that, and people are still bitching about people smoking weed. People have been smoking weed for fucking ever. It's been a thing forever. Let it go. Tax it. Get your money from it. I don't fucking care. There's already a 33% or something kind of tax like that on weed anyway, at all dispensaries for recreational and medical. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have legal weed to make all the money off of and then still make it judgy and illegal and expect to have your money. Like, you guys as the government, you won with crack. You won that epidemic. You got to use your political pull and throw the crack into the poor black neighborhoods in East LA. You got to do that. You got your fucking cake and ate it too. You created a black market and profited bajillions amounts of dollars off of it. In primary, secondary, and tertiary ways, with prison industrial complex forming because of it, all that stuff. You know, like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's frustrating because I don't think cops are bad at all. I don't think all government officials are bad at all. No way. I just think we've been doing the same thing too long, and people are stuck in like this fucking weird rut. Like, there's like a lag between humanity and reality, is what it feels like. You know, when you're playing a video game and there's some lag and you're like, oh shit, I lagged out. That's what it feels like. It feels like humans are lagging behind what reality is right now. I mainly picked cannabis because I am a frequent user of cannabis. But I'm still a productive individual. I know there's many people out there who would beg to differ with that statement, and that's fine. Some people see me doing this podcast as only doing this podcast and not wanting to better my situation or make more money or help my wife out or whatever. But I mean, the fact of the matter is this podcast has saved my life every time I've done an episode. And that's real shit. But the other fact of the matter is you don't know someone's story unless you ask. For people out there that think that, this should just remain a hobby, and you don't have your priorities in order and whatever. My wife starts her job on Monday. I have a job interview on Monday, another job interview on Tuesday, and I dropped off three resumes at three different places today, or a resume at three different places today. For those of you that don't know the full backstory, my wife and I moved back to Washington 3 weeks ago today. Because of her job offer. She got a good job offer. So we moved back here. We're staying with her friend's family and her friend at their place. And we got a car recently, and we're just kind of just getting back in the groove of life, doing life, you know. And trust when I say when I get a job, yeah, I'm going to be working as a primary, but this is always going to take precedent. And nobody's going to sit there and be like, you're a piece of shit. I mean, you can judge me from the outside saying I'm a piece of shit, but I got the very full supporting of my wife, and I know right from wrong, and I know responsibilities versus priorities versus passions versus hobbies. So, because I smoke weed and I do a podcast, I get the judgment, and I'm 25 years old, and I also skateboard, and I'm not that good, but I skate, and it's like, those are the three combinations for looking like a piece of shit. But to each his own, man. Get to know somebody. Because like I said, we're all made of the same material, atom, everything, whatever. We're all made up of the same shit. And to judge somebody off of assumptions and predetermined notions without checking facts or asking the person in general, it's just kind of a miserable way to continually go through life, because you're going to keep interacting with people, and every 3 people or so you're going to have the same type of interaction. And it's going to turn you off to humanity as opposed to turning you on to humanity, where we're all supposed to come together and help. It's the underlying goal of this whole fucking podcast. Not this episode, but the whole thing. But anyways, back to cannabis solely. Sorry. I have some good points to make about this stuff, so I just kind of get really excited and trickle and trail off, and I don't know why I'd do it, but I'm sorry. Hopefully it's entertaining for you guys, and I'm not just rambling, but if I am, that's what the comment section's for, and we will see what that has to say after this video goes up. But the thing with weed that really throws me for a loop is like, okay, so for instance, I'm in Washington. I'm 25 years old. Pot is legal here recreationally and medically, as long as you are 21 years of age. And for medical, you have to have a medical endorsement card. And for recreational, you just have to have a valid state driver's license or some form of valid identification that states you're 21 with your signature and your picture. Sounds fucking really a lot like alcohol, right? It's taxed extra, just like alcohol. It's sold in specialty stores, just like most like liquor stores, or like most specialty alcohols. There's a culture around it that's very proactive and productive and helpful in the community, which you can kind of say for alcohol as far as like craft brews and stuff go, like Beerland on Viceland and shit. And then you got all like the little microbrews and craft breweries in Seattle, and like they put on some good events and festivals and shit for people to come down, and that builds a sense of community. But I honestly don't know how productive it is. I mean, when you think of, yeah, I'm going to get drunk this weekend, and I'm going to get so many things done. Like, that's not really what happens. And it doesn't really happen like that with weed either. You're not like, oh, it's Friday, I'm going to get baked and do so many things. I mean, no, like, but for a lot of alcohol consumers, majority of them, just say, I'm just going to get drunk and let my cares go. And people that smoke weed are like, cool, I'm still gotta get this done, I gotta do this, I'm gonna chill this weekend, I gotta go back to work on Monday, but I'm just gonna smoke a little, hang out, maybe, go on a walk or whatever, go hang out with my wife, out to dinner. My point is that you meet the majority of stoners, or people that use marijuana or cannabis, and they literally are still productive, functioning people in society. There's never been a death from pot. Solely pot. And people are going to argue, well, there's been car accidents where people have had THC in their system. Okay, do you know how long THC stays in your system? Too many times I've almost been in a car accident sober, too. As a sober driver. So that's a fucking drop in the ocean as an argument goes. It's bullshit. Come up with a better one. Again, I also challenge anybody to try and change my opinion on what I'm about to get into with cannabis too, because it'd be fun to see if anyone can. But it's a plant. It grows just like pine trees grow, just like roses grow, just like fucking grass grows. It's been on this earth since the earth. It's funny because everyone's like, yeah, well, alcohol's a plant too. Yeah, the hops are, and the barley is, and the wheat, sure. But it's not, you can't just take a barley plant and, like, smash it up and drink it. I mean, you can, but you're not going to get fucking, it's not going to be like, oh, yeah, this is a fucking IPA Gold. It's so dope, dude. Yeah, smashed up hop. Maybe some hipsters in, like, Seattle somewhere, or, like, San Francisco are out there fucking just, like, it's the newest hop beer, dude, and you're just eating fucking hops, drinking the hop slime. I mean, maybe, but you can't really do that. You can take marijuana from its natural form, pluck it and smoke it. I mean, obviously curing it's better, but back in the day, I'm pretty sure that a lot of them probably just started plucking and smoking and realizing, well, maybe if we let it dry out, it smokes better, and they started letting it dry, and then they smoked it then. But my point is it's natural. All the evidence shows that CBD that's in THC, it's the other compound in marijuana, it's non-psychoactive. CBD reduces inflammation. CBD sponsors major skateboarders. CBD companies do. CBD companies are sponsoring. I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years you start seeing CBD sponsoring the X Games, and that's amazing. That's good, But that's literally less than half of what's in some plants. The rest of it could be THC. So you got THC, which has never done any harm to anybody. Maybe made some people freak out or whatever, but like that's because you can't handle it. And then you got CBD, and that is proven to reduce inflammation and anxiety naturally. In our bodies, we have receptors, cannabinoid receptors, for cannabis. That's why you get the high feeling you get, because the THC molecule gets into your system and it binds with the cannabinoid receptors, and it inhibits some neuron transmission as far as like, that's why you get the weird sensations. But you're not out of control. It's just weird, man. 3 beers can kill a bunch of people. 3 beers. 3 beers drank by one guy, gets in the car and leaves. So it's only 3 beers, and he hits a minivan because he can't really see too well. It's kind of blurry a little bit. It's kind of fucking shit's kind of bouncing on the road a little, and he slams into a fucking minivan. The minivan is a mom and her husband and their kids coming home from dinner, and now they're all dead. But that doesn't happen with weed. And I think, I'm not saying like smoke and drive. I'm saying I think it's because the culture around cannabis is that of relax, open your mind, learn, and become a better person. And that's kind of like what people decide to smoke weed for, But to each their own. I'm not telling you that you should only smoke weed and alcohol's bad. I mean, I have a beer every now and then. But like what I find frustrating more than anything else, and this is the last point I'm going to make about pot, so don't worry. But what I find frustrating, dude, more than anything else, is drug tests for job placement. Like pre-employment or post-employment drug screenings, where if you test positive for marijuana, and 9 times out of 10, even if you have a medical endorsement card, you still aren't going to get the job. And if you don't have a card, you're really not going to get the job. What kind of fucking catch-22 is that? Hey, you're in a legal state where pot's legal, and as long as you're of age, you can indulge in marijuana. But then you go apply for this job, which is a state-sponsored job or a small business job, or like nothing federally, not a federal job, just a state-level job or a local small city or town or whatever township type business, and you go to apply there. And they say, well, sorry, there's trace amounts of THC in your urine, so we're not gonna give you this job. It's like, what? Wait, but it's legal. But I can't have it in my system? Well, no, we don't want you to, have a problem with attendance or use on the job for safety reasons and reliability, and we're just going to kind of go a different direction. Now, I've never been told that at a job interview or anything. I've never failed a drug test, but I've never cheated one either. Just be smart and know your timelines. But it's just dumb that we have to do that, man. It's marijuana, cannabis, hemp, THC, CBD, fucking, like, what the fuck? You know how many people, I've worked so many different jobs, you know how many people I know on these different types of jobs that will have a flask at work or get drunk before going into work, and their job involves heavy machinery or ladders or heights or power tools or even just finite attention to detail and oh fuck, I messed up, or running a forklift, crush somebody, oh fuck. They don't do fucking alcohol, like blood alcohol content test when they fucking, when they have to hire you. They don't ask you if you drink when they hire you, but they ask you if you can pass a drug test. And I'm all for fucking not hiring people on drug tests if they pop hot for, anything other than pot. Don't hire them, it's fine. And I get that it's your right at the end of the day because it's your business and you get to pick and choose your quality of employees. But let me just say in closing here, people that use cannabis, whether it's through the smoke form, through vape form, through oils or concentrates, through edibles, through tinctures, through fucking THC infused bath bombs, whatever it is, they're not fucking bad people. They're not shitty workers. They're not criminals. They're not homeless bums. They're not drug addicts. They're choosing to use a substance that is naturally occurring on this earth and the receptors for it are naturally occurring in our bodies as human beings. And that's what we are at the end of the day. Like I said, after each one of these topics, we are fucking human beings, dude. So for someone to sit there and drive down the road and see somebody else leave a pot store and be like, fucking stoner. It's like, who are you? Who are you to say that? Like, you don't have anything else in your life that's wrong or immoral or going south or a vice. And I'm not saying cannabis is any of those things. All I'm saying is when your house is made up of 50% glass too, like most Americans is, don't throw fucking stones at someone else's. Told you it was going to be a heated episode. It took me to like the last 5 minutes to kind of get in the groove, but I think that's going to come in time. Getting used to live streaming, getting used to video. Because like when I originally started this podcast, I had the idea of just making it audio. And that was mainly because like all the podcasting, or not podcasting, but all the podcasts that I've listened to and all the podcast experience that I had over the last couple of years was all audio. Like I just recently started watching Joe Rogan's videos for Joe Rogan Experience on YouTube, like while applying for jobs or fucking car searching before we had a car. I just put that on the side and watch it, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then I started getting a ton of like viewer or like listener requests for like live feed, like streaming. And I said, well, I'll see what I can do. I mean, I can't promise it's going to be perfect. I don't have a sexy backdrop. I don't have anything cool fucking hanging up on the walls. I'm not in a fancy studio. I was a half an hour late starting this entire episode. The internet went down. I mean, it's just little things like that. But onward and upward, man. We all have our days. We all have our moments. Last thing I want to touch on too. Sorry. Last thing that I want to touch on too is suicide, man. I'm not going to say, if you're struggling or know someone who's struggling, reach out. I mean, yeah, that's good. But I'm just going to take this time to say, I fucking care about you. Like, I genuinely care about you. Whether I know you or I don't know you. If you've got some kooky thoughts rolling around in your head, fucking email me, dude. Zero judgment. Don't even have to leave your name. Just fucking email me. Message me on Facebook. Chat with me. Because I've been there too. I've been in suicidal positions before. It's not something we should taboo away and brush under the rug, dude. That's how more people are going to keep fucking dying. I've noticed in my lowest times that the suicidal thoughts and images and shit kind of come and stem from feeling like you have really nobody, and all you really need is to be told that you're loved and you're wanted and you're needed on this earth. Whether you found your purpose yet or not, you have all the time in the world until you're dead. Why end it short by your own hand? I'm just going to leave it at that, guys. But like I said, just fucking reach out to me. I love each and every one of you. And without you guys, none of this would ever even be possible. So, thank you. Thank you for constantly tuning in. I know we didn't get to veterans benefits issues. But that's also kind of because it's scheduled as like a later topic in a different episode. So I was going to touch on it in here if we had time, but kind of like a little, haha, gotcha, teaser, got to tune in next time. Because it's going to be a good one too, episode 7. Episode 7 is either going to be with Edison Brown and Darian Jackson, like I stated previously in the udxp Hump Day report. Or it's going to be with, as I learned today, it might potentially switch and be with a guy named Matt Malkowicz. I hope I pronounced that right. Shout out to Matt. Him and I were talking all day about getting him on. The guest, Edison Brown and Darian Jackson, for episode 7, they had some stuff come up last minute, and so they're kind of trying to see right now if they'll be able to make it for the episode. If they can, we'll have them on. If they can't, we'll have Matt on instead. Same time, same date. But stay tuned on Wednesday for the udxp Hump Day Weekly Report, episode 2, and I'll give you guys all the updates on that as far as who is going to be in episode 7 as like a finalized show. So, yeah, guys. Thank you a ton. This is a passion, and it is basically a hobby. And I get that. I truly do. I truly know that it takes money to make shit happen, so when I get my job, this is still going to happen. I want you guys to know. Onward and upward, because I'll have money from my job to keep pumping into the podcast, baby. So, other than that, I got some updates or some shout-outs for you guys. Go follow the show at Facebook at facebook.com/udxp17. Instagram at udxp_17. Snapchat at butcher.93. Twitter at trnickb93. That's trnickb93. YouTube, Spreaker, and SoundCloud. On those last 3, on YouTube, Spreaker, and SoundCloud, just go ahead and type in UDXP or the Underdog Experience in the show search bar, and it should pop up for you. If you guys could subscribe to the YouTube page, that'd be awesome. My subscribers are like at 6 right now, 7 maybe. I think I just want to get a couple more, so But yeah, guys, I'll be sure to release episode 7 updates on Wednesday. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.